The U20 Summit will get underway later on this week, but today we got an update from the mayors that are playing host to the U20. Both the city of Tshwane and the city of Johannesburg have briefed the media on their state of readiness, but they've also informed the public as to what is going to come out or what they can expect to come out of that U20 Summit. Now, what we do understand is that the outcomes of the U20 Summit will be shared at the G20 Summit expected later on this year. One of the issues that has really dominated conversations is the issue of infrastructure and the fact that urban migration has really outpaced the pace at which infrastructure development takes place in the two metros. Now, some of the biggest issues that are faced by the two particular metros is urban decay and the issue of illegally occupied buildings. These are two metros that are at the heart of the economy of South Africa and economic drivers of South Africa, given the fact that they are home to many businesses within the country, and they are responsible for the country's GDP. I'm joined by them right now to get a better sense of what residents can expect. Mr. Mayor, Mr. Morero, you have mentioned a number of things, right? You've spoken about how climate change rather, affects everyone, including residents of Soweto by way of flooding when it rains. But what you've also spoken about and touched on is the issue of urban migration, and the city of Johannesburg is not spared with regards to urban migration. What are you going to then be going to the U20 to try and address, just pertaining to the urban decay that we've seen in the city of Johannesburg?
Well, thanks for the opportunity. I think the biggest issue at the U20 is climate action and climate change, and how we're going to respond as municipalities. How do we mobilize resources globally to help us respond to climate change and challenges that are faced. And we all agree that, of course, Africa will be the most affected, and it requires us to mobilize resources in response. And part of the things we're doing is launching trees, planting of trees throughout, working with the other institutions, the Water Resource Institute, to see how we can reverse the impact of floods in some areas. We do have a program currently running in Alexander in the Joskei River to find solutions to ensure that we can reduce the flood. So there are a number of interventions that we are also trying, but majority of those interventions do require resources, and the U20, as part of the discussions that must be placed at the G20, it will be making recommendations on how do we bring institutions, financial institutions and national governments to intervene in helping us as municipalities to respond to these challenges.
You have also echoed the mayor's sentiments with regards to urban migration, infrastructure being eroded because it's outpaced by the number of people flocking into your metro. What measures are you putting in place?
So it's part of the infrastructure development plan that in the next 10 years, the city of Tshwane has a plan on how it should look like, especially as the capital city of the country. So those plans will put them in place, including the investment in how our water, electricity, roads infrastructure must look like, so that we also respond to the impact of climate change. So that's what we are doing. However, it won't be enough if we do not have access to other African mayors whose residents are flocking our cities. I mean, what we have done when we're hosting the U20, we hosted the African Mayors Assembly. There we wanted to start a conversation as African mayors, because if other African cities are not developing at the pace that the city of Johannesburg and city of Tshwane are developing, then it doesn't help us, because obviously people will always follow opportunities and development. So one of the legacy projects that we have with Mayor Morero is that at least once a year we must host other African mayors to say, how do we support you? Because we also recognize that we're at a better place compared to other cities. For instance, in June we had had the mayor of Harare, and we were joking about it to say, listen, come and pay our bills because your residents are here. But it's not a joke. If Harare doesn't develop, the city of Johannesburg and city of Tshwane will forever be a place where the residents from Zimbabwe come and look for opportunities. So in addition to that, the work that we are doing internally, including the economic revitalization work that we are doing, so that the residents of our cities can benefit. But if we don't deal with the external concerns that we have with other cities when they don't develop, then we feel the impact because their residents come to our cities.